Okay. Hey guys, let's do it and see how it goes. Here, I think that you see my screen. So this is my screen, and today we are going to build this. So do you see? If someone can tell me that you see when I am with my terminal and my the other browser. Okay, cool. So it seems to work. So let's go, and I will try with that session. That session is the duration will be 1 hour and a half. If you have to leave, don't worry. Leave. This is recorded, and you can find it on this platform, both on L2 and also in LNROOM.live. So I will try to go in the code the faster we can. So when the mistakes arrive, we can catch them. So here is the UI that we have. So why don't we have any account? Maybe. Okay. So let's me terminal, this one. Okay. So this is the application, the Go application that is running on localhost 8080, and the data that we see are data that we are going that are from the regtext node that I have running right now. I will show you some of the operation invoices and also on-chain operation that I've done with a little script to have some data to use here, and also such that you can also after try it by yourself. So this is the accounts, and we get that with, if I remember well, with a list balances, with a bookkeeper list balances command. And here we have the income events, where we can see this is from the wallet. The account is we have one channel, another channel here. We have some color to show when they are positive, or when we credit or debit some of the thing, and I've choose to put the tags that bookkeeper has in the command. And but for instance, we don't see the date. Maybe it would be better to have the date, or to filter, or to do other stuff. But we keep that simple. such that we can try to do it in one go today. The other how can we get those data? This is done thanks to the plugin commando. The plugin commando allow any application that act as a node to run to run some command in the node in a case where we are authorized, and this authorization is given by the node with the run. So we are not going to look at that a lot because we did a video last time, but we are just going to see enough to do that. This application is written in Go, and we use the library lnsocket by JB55 to act as a node and connect to the rectest node and get those data. And let's go. And we see how we do all of those things. One of the things that we can see right now is when we switch from the accounts or the income events, what we are going to do, we are going to use a library which is called htmx. So everything is server-side render, and we only render that piece as a HTML from the server, and we swapped that div thanks to that library. So we have almost nothing to add in our templates to do that, and we also are going to use how it is called hyperscript, which is just a front-end language that helps to do simple things like adding or removing the class. And this is done by the same guys. And if you want to check out, because you like how this is possible to do all of this, or for other reason, and the other reason can be because the guy who writes that those library is super good at doing memes. So if you want good memes, you can check it. So okay, hey Michael. So let's go. I will, as you were there at the previous session, you know how we do that. I write some code. I take a pause and I see if you have a question, and we are going to do that. So let's go. So first thing we are going to do is to kill that one, so we don't have it. I don't have a list of the plan on how we are going to do that, but we have the code if we need it at some point. And I just want to try to cut things, and as it comes, we see what we are interested in. So first, maybe the first thing that we can it's to go to the other terminal, this one, where we can see this is the thing that I ran before to have those this rectest network running. So as we can see at the top, as we did in the previous one, we use the startup rectest script to have some aliases to run the Lightning Network on rectest. We start two nodes. We connect after we connect those nodes. We found with fun nodes, we found a channel from the node N1 and the node L2, and this also happened to fund the node of the node L1, not only the channel. And then there is that little script that I will give you and show you here, and we can see that maybe it's better to look at the script directly. So ln rect, okay, we don't have it here. ln rectest bash. So we go through such that we can see that. So we assume we have already funded the default Bitcoin, L1 wallet, and they are connected. This is what I've just shown you. We define those two commands. that are just the nodes running on L1 and on L2, and the directory where are those information add those one temporary L2 rec test. Then we do 3 invoices from L1 to L2. So we use the command invoices. We get the bulk 11 invoice, and then we pay with the node L1 to the node L2. We need a Bitcoin address on rec test, so you can do Bitcoin CLI rec test. The wallet, the default name of the wallet is default. We get a new address, and with that address, we can do other things. So, for instance, right now we found the node N1 another time, so such that we've seen that in the application. We have those information. We continue. L1 pays one more invoice. Now we open a channel from L2 to L1. You see all of those steps that could be done at the command line. So we see here we found the channel from the node L2 to the node L1, and finally we pay some invoice from the node L1 to the node L2, and we withdraw because I wanted to see a withdraw in the list of incomes, and we go to the last one where we pay again L2 to L1. So let's go. This is what we see here. And what do we want to do first? Let's look at main.go. So the only thing that we are going to do first is just to print foo and see if we can get this working. Go run main. It print foo, so we are confident and we can go further. One thing that we are going to look first is lnsocket library. So with lnsocket, we have that type lnsocket. We get it and we generate a key. So we have to remember that application is going to act as a node, not a complete node, but just will connect with the node L1, and will try to send commando requests that we are going to see after those commando requests. Now, once we have generated the key, we run connect and init, and we pass it the host name and the node ID. This should return an error in case we have an error, or nil, and we are just printed that we are not connected if this happened. And now we no longer need this foo. And what do we need? We don't need runes of at that moment, because we are not going to issue a commando request. We just want to see a node connected. And we need the node ID of L1. L1 CLI, and we want, maybe we can do this get info in big, and we can see the binding that are local hosts with the port 7171. This is why I already put it. We get the node ID. So normally we have the host name and the node ID. If we run, it should run on quit. We don't have the time to see that we connect to the node, but we are going to sleep 10 seconds to have the time to see that. So alias L1 CLI, because I want that alias to open. So we open a new terminal. We have that alias, so we are going to be able to do something like L1 CLI in this one, and we want to list peers. Sorry, I lost my voice last week, and it's a bit hard this week. But anyway, we are going to make it happen. So we can see that we have right now just one peer, the peer L2, and we want to see if we can have more peer, because we connect, we do that connection here. So maybe we can use time, sleep, and we might want to sleep 10 seconds, and I think it's time second. So we need to add time there. We have it, and now let's go back. Maybe this is working. We go to the next terminal, not this one, this one. We do list peer, and we can see that we have a new peer. Okay, so I wanted to show that, because this is really the mindset, if we can say, of using commando and any libraries that offer to connect and get the data with commando. This is really super cool. We act like a node. We have access to some of the things of the node, thanks to the authorization system, which is run, that we are going to look at right now. So maybe we no longer need this one. Yes. Anyway, we have the terminal. Now let's go back to Ben. So we know we can connect. When we connect, we are really connecting with our node. And now we want to do RPC things. So body of the, now we are going to do a request, commando request to the node, and we are going to do a simple at the beginning and just do a get info ln RPC, and now we have to pass the rule. So we have the rule, and then we have to pass the name of the method, and here we pass the parameter. I think that we can, as getInfo don't take a parameter, we can leave it with the empty string, but putting it like that, to me, remember that this is an empty array, and maybe we can print that with body. So let's try that. Not this one. This one. And define. Ah, yes. I was watching some bash today, and I forgot to authorize. So perfect. So we can see that we get what we get in the body here is because the rune that we passed, we didn't generate a rune from the node L1. So let's do that. So CLI commando rune. This is an unrestricted rune, so we have to take care, because if we pass that rune to any application, they can totally steal everything, do whatever they want in our node. So we must be careful. But right now, this is only me on reg test, so let's do that. Terminal, and now we have that, and we get we have the get info, and we see that what we get is not only the result of the get info, but it's really the JSON RPC response with the JSON RPC field, the ID, and the result. So this is the moment where I need to mention something. I must mention something. So we see here we have null. This is because we lnsocket was written last year, I think, and when they send a commando request, they don't send an ID. So in the last temporary, we are going to look at L1RecTest and the config files. And in the version 23.02 of this year, so this has been deprecated. So that means that when any application send a commando request, this must include an ID field. So this is why in that if you want this to work for this release and maybe the next one, I'm not sure, with lnsocket/go, we have to put all deprecated APIs true, and I will open an issue this later this week, and I think the fix is not so hard, so I think that this will be solved in the coming weeks, maybe. So with that said, maybe the time to have some question, so that I can brief a little bit. I can also drink. So. Do you have any question? So the bookkeeper plugin is written in C. What is the interface between that code in C and this code in Go? Let me answer. Huh? So a plugin can be written in any languages. If it is it happened that this one is part of Lightning repository, it is written in C. In the coming release, there's a plugin CLN RPC, I think that will CLN REST that will make it, which will be written in Python by Shahana, and there is also some of them that are written on Rust. Anyway, we don't care how they are written, because at some point they just are started as a process of Lightning D, and the Go program that want to reach that plugin doesn't reach that plugin directly. It just connect to the node that is running many plugins, and send a request which is called a request with the command called commando, and with some information in the parameters, and they say, okay, let me please, can you run that things for me, that command? So we ask to run get info. Lightning D say, hey, okay, so I run this, I have the answer, and I give you back the JSON, and this is what we get. And this is going to be the same, but instead of using get info, we are going to use, so let's see that, we are going to use bkpr-listbalances command and bkpr-listincome. So maybe, as you ask, maybe we can repo lnsocket go, lnsocket go, and we make read this, and here this is Go code. So we have a commando message which take a run, a method, and the parameters, and at some point this is written there, and this is what is written and sent via the communication between nodes. So we can see we have the method, which is going to be the method commando. We have the parameters, and we also pass the RIN. And I think this is there where we might need to add the request an ID to make it works. Is it okay for you, Michael? So you are kind of like writing another plugin in Go that is communicating with the Lightning node and manipulating the output of the bookkeeper plugin, but not communicating with that bookkeeper plugin. No. Okay, so right now we are not, we really not are running a plugin. So far, the plugin run as sub-process, and so they are started. So let's go there. And if we want to start a plugin, we would want something like that. So Lightning CLI for the node 1, plugin, start, and the path of some plugin, the full path of some plugin, or the path of a plugin if it is in the, how to say, if it is, if it is in the plugin directory. So this is something that really is started as a sub-process by Lightning D. So when we do that, and maybe we can do AX, and we can do RJ Lightning D. So we have that, and maybe just this one, maybe we have more things. So here we can see for we can see some of the plugins. There are, for instance, there are sub-processes. They are started by Lightning D as sub-processes. But what we are going to do, and what we are doing with the Go library, is really that we are running a different process that is started, that can be started in another machine. So it happens that to do the example, I do it with Lightning DOS running on my machine on the chain rec test to do the test. So they are on the same machine, but what we do is really a connection between peers. So we are connecting to the node as a peer. So maybe it's clearer. I will continue. This way we will have some time to do more stuff. So I hope this helps Michael, or maybe other. So now let's go back to this one, and we did blah blah blah. The request that we did was a get info. Maybe we are going to see terminal L1 CLI bookkeeper, and we want list balances, and this is the objects that we get, and we see we have different accounts. The first one is the wallet of the node, and this is the balance that we have. These are the information that we are going to that we've seen in the UI. So these are the ones that we want. Another account, this one, which has a peer ID2. So this is a channel, and we also have the balance of that channel, and also we have another one, which is another channel. So we can do the same in main Go, and we can do bookkeeper list. No, let's see. List, what do we want to list? These are the balances. Go back to the terminal, and I'd like to see it working. It seems to be working, and we see, if we go at the top here, we have an array with the first field, which is the accounts, and we have the the array of the accounts. So it seems to be working. We're going back to this one before we go to the HTTP server, and I want to do something like that. Get info. Maybe I will center that. And what we're going to do, we are going to restrict to do how to say that. We're going to create a new rule with which restrict only to the bookkeeper command. So this is the thing. As we're giving book our application, it's just dealing with the bookkeeper information. We want to be secure, and why giving away all the power of our node? Not a good idea, I think. So commando. So if I remember well, so null is to say that we are not giving. If we give it nothing a commando rule, and by the way, this command will be named create rule in the coming releases. So just if you are watching the video in the future, maybe you have to use create rule and not commando rule. And the first argument is a rule if we want to restrict or already existing rule. But if it's not, we're going to pass an array of they are not restriction, they are alternatives. So we want the name, we want that the method start. The caret is to say all the method. We just want to let the methods that start by bkpr, and maybe we can put this here, and we have a new rule. So I hope I'm doing the things correctly, but we are going to find out. No, we keep the old one in case this doesn't work, but it should work. So now we should have an error because we are trying to do a get info. Okay, cool. So this is really what was to expecting. So we connect as we are connected as a node. We send a commando request that say, "Hey, give me the get info," but with a rule that have a restriction that let only the bkpr command that start with a bkpr running. So this won't work, and we can do something. So yes, where is the rule? Maybe to show something, we can do L1 CLI -k decode, and we want to decode the string which is the rule, and we can see we have the information about that rule that say in the summary that method of command start with bkpr. So now let's go back to main.go, and let's try to have the list of balances. Okay. And now we have absolutely no problem to do this. This gives us the information because the rune that we are using is the right one. Cool. So we've done 34 minutes. We've done the first part, which was to understand a little bit. This is what we need to know about lnsocket and connected using commando on the rule. And now we are going to try to do that application. So we no longer need this one. We are printing body, and let's go back to the node. And now we are going to use net HTTP. HTTP. So we no longer want this one. We want net HTTP, and let's just do something like that. We want the connection, and maybe in the node, this might not be the. We want this one. So what do we want? The log. So we want the log. So log.fatal, I think it's a way to give back the last thing that happened when we stop the HTTP server. So HTTP list and serve, we pass it. This will be localhost and the port 8080 that we did. Here we could pass. I think that this is an handle-func type of function that we could pass here to maybe just serve the directory or anything else. But what we want to do in our case is to use that function. So HTTP handle-func, we give it the root. So maybe we can start with the home, and here we need to pass a specific function which are handle or handler func, which take the response, the writer where we write the response, and also the request. So we are going to change that, and the last part that we want is that one, before we use any type of template. So maybe we can leave this at the top because this is working. So my handler, I will go back to this one after. So we pass my handler to as a second argument of http.handle func. So this is the one which is responsible to write the answer to the request to something that match the root path. And we see this take a W, which is a writer, and we are writing what we want the string or any HTML that we want to write to this, and we have the request, and now we are not using the request at all. And what we do is we print on W, so we on the writer we just print foo. So let's see if we got that right, or if I'm in some way lying. So now we should see. So you see at the top we have foo. Okay, fine. So maybe we can do something now that we have that part working. Let's stop that, and maybe we can move anyway. Wait a minute. So, yes. So okay. So to tell you what I would like to do is to write a my handler that is that. So this is a function that that as a that signature. Sorry, but here in that part, I would like to do the ln.rpc request. So I want to pass to that kind of function. Maybe I want to pass ln and the room to be able to do the two things. So at the beginning, we're still going to connect. So we are going to connect in the main, but in that one, we want to pass ln and the lnsocket and the room. So to do that, we can do, yes, as I'm seeing, the room is global. we will not have to do it, but anyway, let's do it. Let's do it too. So to do that, we are going to write a closure that is just a way to say that. So we comment out this one. Make account handler. We are going to call it make home because we want to use it in the home. So now we can change that one. And what we want is to pass it LN. Maybe. Yep, maybe this is that one. Not sure for this one, but let's see how it goes. And we want to pass it also the rule. We are not going to use the rule right now, but what we return is a function with the characteristics that we have before. So let's do if we get this working. So the only thing that we did, it's a kind of we wrap our HTTP handler function in one that take LNROOM so that we can pass them here and we can use them after in the body. So let's see if so envelope version cannot indirect LN variable of type lnsocket. So maybe this is that. Okay, so this should have this. Okay, so this is working. Okay, so as we have foo, I will change it to bar just to be sure that something happened. So yes, something's happened. We can see what we did before. We was just passing directly an under func that takes the writer and the request. We print on the writer foo, and that's it. But we are preparing the work to be able to use lnsocket inside that function that we pass as a handler to here. Okay, so I hope I'm clear with the thing that we are doing, and maybe the way to do is that now let's take that one, we uncomment, and maybe we can pass the body. Bodies, I think that bodies is a string. So now we should see if we start that, we should see on the home. Everything seems to works, and now okay, it's I don't know for you, but it's getting interesting. So now before we add just command line application, we connect to the node via lnsocket. We do a request which is a list bkpr-listbalances, and we put them in the output. Now we have an HTTP server running, and we do almost the same, but we print out this there. What can we do next? So let me think, because I don't want to. I want to try to do the thing as they come. So, like, what is the next steps? Okay, so maybe it's the time to let enter the template. So instead here, what we do is that we print in the writer body directly without doing anything. But now what we can do is use the library that one to have some template that let us do let us write some HTTP with some variant inside where we can get some data that we are going to use in the template and that directly come from body. So template. So one of the template, this one is already almost filled. We are going to fill a little bit here after, and here after I will show you that one, because we can see, so at the top we are not using them right now, but the two libraries that I told you about, so HTMX and hyperscript, we have the titles that we've seen, we have a body, and we are not going to write the CSS file that is already written for everything. So we also have the right, so we have one which is the header, we have the content. Inside the content, we have the two tabs that we've seen at the beginning, which is account and income event. And here in that divs, what we are going to write is either, how to say that, either we write inside the data that we have the list balances or list incomes. Okay, so these are the parts that we are going to modify. Right now, what we might be able to do is HTML template to do that simply. I hope it doesn't bother you that I'm copy pasting some of the stuff, but I think it's easier, and there are mistakes that we don't need to make at that point. So here, I didn't say it before, but I'm not. I don't take care of the errors on the error handling in this demo. So if you want to use it to do something more professional, this should be taken into account. So the name of the template is index.html. We use the library template parse files. And is it okay? Yes, this is okay. And now, okay, so when we execute, okay, here we have to pass some data. So the data that we are going to pass after are going to be the body, but not directly the body, but a list of type of accounts, no, an array of accounts, and we can retrieve those accounts when we do that. But let's first, I think that maybe we can pass nil. We are not using that one right now, but it will complain. So maybe blah blah. Okay, so let's just play with the template. Don't have errors. Okay, so this is the template. We can see what we have. If we do a Control U, and we see this is really what we have on our template. And as we pass nil as data, and we are not doing anything with the data, nothing is happening. Let's see if maybe we can pass something. So we are going to pass directly the body, which is a string, and now in the template. In the template at that point, maybe we can pass. So the dot is for the data that we pass, and this is also a way if we have a field in the struct, or we can get those elements. Let's see if we have something. So working. Okay, so not exactly what we still want to do, but anyway, we know the template. We know how to pass data to the template, and now maybe we need to do some stuff to get this working a little bit better. Not the layout so far. We're adding the CSS after, but first we want data. So we are here now. We have the body, and now what we would like to have. Maybe do we have question? No, we don't have questions. So I continue. We still have this one. So we see in the field result we have the field accounts, and maybe it will be great if we can just list those accounts. And remember, what we want is the wallet and is balance MSAT. So now blah blah blah, and we can call it because we are no longer passing body. Okay, so before we work on the body and see what we can do with the body, we're just going to see how the template works. So templates, we want type account, and the account is struct, and we want. So what do we want? We want an account, which is a string, and we also want not this one, but this and millisat. So we want how it is called. It is called balance MSAT. So balance MSAT to keep this. Let's try with string, but I think maybe it should be int. But anyway, let's put a string. And we can see instead of passing body, we're going to pass accounts. So now we call them accounts, and this is going to be an array of accounts. Okay, so let's take that. We want those one. So we want the account, balance millisat. Maybe we can just put something like we know that it is called wallet. Let's call it a wallet, and this one we can call it. We can let. We have one. We have two. Maybe another, and we want to pass this here. So what does happen if we pass this array to this? So what are unexpected at what line? This one. Terminal line 18. It's not like that. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I got this one wrong. So now, sorry for the typo. So we can pass also data, and now we are going to see how we can on that range get those one as we want them to be. let's go back here. And our goal to understand what we are doing right now, it's just that this fake account, that list of accounts that we are doing and using, we are going to replace it with the list of accounts that we have from the body. Okay, from the call to bkpr list balances. So now let's go back to the template, and as we could have expect. So maybe let me see the time. Okay, so the time I will here what we can do is to do a list of something, and in that list we do range. I wrote it rapidly, and but after I will take the answer, the response that I have already. So the dot is the one that we are is the data that we pass. So now this is the array of account. Here we are going to have some list, and in that list, what we can do, if I remember well, we wanted something like this: return the account. And now we want the name of the account. So we use a dot, and with the dot we have access to in that range we are doing we are passing on all the accounts. So we have that lnsat here. We close the list, and we do something similar here, but what we want is maybe, I think that I wrote a balance, and this is balance lnsat. Let's go back, and we see in the struct this is balance lnsat, and then we end this, and we do the same with close the thing. I was saying that I was going to take it from the node, but it seems to be as fast as to do this like that. So let's now run that. Okay, interesting. Well, I don't know if it's that much interesting, but we now have a way to pass the data an array. We do a range. We have the list element, and with that list we can get those things and that things. Let's now try to, instead of using that fake array, to use the good one. So how are we going to do that? I do that part, and then I take a question, and I have the feeling that we are not going to make it entirely, but at least we are going to have the first part running with also the CSS. So now we have the body. The template, we don't have to have it there. We are going to use get JSON library to deal with the JSON. And now how account array, maybe we can call it like that. So account array, so JSON, let us do something like that. We get, and we pass it first. We pass it, yes, we pass it the body, and now we pass it some path of the thing that we want. We no longer see, maybe we can go to the terminal, and we can go to list balances. Yes, we have it here. Yes, to bookkeeper list balances, and see, yes. I hope you're following with me. we see that what we get, we have the JSON, but we have also result and accounts with an S. So we want that one with a dot. So now we are going to have a list of those things. Maybe to be sure that this is what we have. It's better to do errors. No. Now let's see. We can do a little test to see if we are doing the thing right. So print ln, each time we are going to call, we want to add array, which should be a string. So now let's go back to the terminal. We run that, and we have to call it once, and we see, because we printed this, that we get something that we are going to transform into an array. So we have the first one, we have the second account. So we can say, I don't know you, but we are enough confident that we are retrieving the thing that. Now there's that method that convert that JSON result into an array. We want to do maybe we are going to loop on the array in order to get. Okay, so we have the account. Now we have the account, and we want, so we make a slice, array slice. Don't know how you call that, but of account, and as this one now ACR is an array, it adds some length that we can take to build that slice, and maybe what is 4? Is it a 4? We have the index, and we want the account. So I hope I got the syntax right. If I don't have it right, the compiler will tell me. So range, and we range on ACR. And what do we do? Well, what we do is something like that, I think. So maybe we want to do something like that one, which is going to be, so we want the highest element. We set equal to an account. Maybe we can do something like that. We no longer need this one. Let me look at that if we are going to have some error directly or not. So now we have the result accounts. We make it an array. Then that array is we initialize that account slice that we are going to send right at the end and to use in the template. We do a loop, and I hope the syntax is the right one in Go, on the array, and each element will be an account on this one. Okay, so this should work. We are not using body, but as we have 3 elements in the list balances, and we have 3 accounts, we should see this happen 3 times. So unexpected new line. This is that one. Account declared but not used. So where is account declared and not used? Ah, yes, this one. as we are going to use it after. Okay, so normally if we do that, we should see three of them. So we have a three because when we list, we see that here when we are listing the balances, we've seen that we have three of them. So we can go maybe confidently to the next step, which is to instead of using wallet at that point, what we want to use is that variable that we haven't used before, which is now a JSON result. So we can do a get on it. So I think, if I'm not wrong, we can do a get. We pass it the root, and maybe what just the thing that we want. Let's go to the terminal and see again what are the things that we have. So now what we get is each time we have something like that. So we can, we might want to have to take the account field. So if we do that, we should see the name of the account changing, but we have to pass it as a string. And now, okay. So I'm glad that we get to that point. At least what we are doing is it's a part where we get the data from the node using lnsocket. Then we have a server running. We use a template. We transform the data that we get from the server using JSON library. Anyone can use any other, but JSON to transform and get the elements that we want to pass and that data to the how it is called, that data to the template, and that data is used, and we can see go back again how it is done. We pass it here. The dot is really the, I think it's called pipeline, but anyway, we have the, we pass the array, each element of the array that we pass, and we are taking the field account and then the field balance and sat. And I want now, maybe you want to, is to do the same thing, but with the amount. So let's go back to terminal. We stop that, and we need to know the root to the. So let's get this one. So we have one object, and anyway, we have at some point a field which is called balances, and in the first element. So this is an array. In the array, the first element is an object with balance that. Okay, let's see how we can write that root. So if I'm not wrong with JSON things, first we take balances. Okay, so this is the first element we want. This is an array. We want the first element. I hope this is 0. Maybe it's 1. We'll see. And then we want in that object that we get balance msat. Let's see if we get some error, maybe at runtime. Hey, cool. So we have something like that, and this is pretty cool. Maybe, so we have 20 minutes left, exactly 21. I will stop right now, go back. We can go to the main.go, no, to the note. If you have some question, then I will add the CSS and do some other stuff. And so ask any question. And so we are going to stop in 21 minutes, but don't worry, after we close the stream, I will record the last part and I will publish it. I don't know when, but this way we're going to be able to have this whole application developed in maybe in to go, but available. So, any question or thought, or maybe things that you think? How amazing is so let's to see so we have Chuck, we have Michael, and I don't see the last one. Sorry. We have Drew. Okay, guys, so no question. So that means that we are in the right track, I hope. And now, what do I want to do? In 20 minutes, really, or maybe 15, we can do so. I want to have the CSS right, because when we do a web app on UI, it's just so awful than when we don't have the CSS. So let's see if we can. What do we have? We have that. So maybe just with the CSS, this will give you something. No, so these are not template, HTTP. So the incantation line, do that, is that one. So we can put it here. So, but it's not an interesting one. It's just from the module HTTP handle. And we have some of the things to pass that we are serving the assets directories, and we can see in the assets that we have bookkeeper to show you that there is almost no CSS. So we have the reset part, which is 50 line, and then we have some CSS which are 100 lines, and really it's just some flexbox and some padding, so anybody can jump on it and change, modify it. No framework, no need for framework for something as little as that application. So let's close that, restart that one, and maybe cool. But why don't we have? Okay, fine. So this is because we maybe we need to add some. So we have those ones that do nothing right now. This is center, but we lack of some of those ones. So in the template index, and what are those one? Yes. So this is called this one. I have it. This is because we need an ID. Okay, so you see we have, maybe we can just see side by side. This is not exactly the same because, so accounts, we have it right. We need the one that we write is in the right. So we need accounts, maybe index. So let me see what. Why did I do that like that? Yeah, okay. It works, but you see there, I do two LE, two list element, and we don't do two list element. So we are going to copy paste that one. So before I was using two list element for this one, and this is not what we want, and we were missing account and the ID of the URL and this ID. So now we should have something better. Okay, cool. So we have this working, and now what is the most important part to take on? Yes, so we did the part about the server, the templates, more or less, and we are maybe I want to try if we can in 50 minutes do the HTMX part, which swap that which will swap that part. So okay, now I want to show you that in that live because this is really so fun. So go back to the template, and what we are going to do is we see that part, and this is what we have that enclose that part. And what we want to do is to swap when we click here, to swap with some other things that come from the server. But first, tab accounts. Let's say that we do LNROOM first. Okay, now let's do a tab account first. This library is super cool because we are just adding some attribute in the divs, and this do all the lifting. So we want to do a get to the server, and so far when we click on that tab account, this one, okay. So trigger when this is triggered, and we have to tell how we want it to be triggered. So unclick, maybe it's click, maybe it's unclick. I think it's unclick, but and we want to swap to PR1P. Let's say that this is 1. We want to swap with the inner. So what we are going to do when we click, when we click on that one, okay, we are going to we are going to do a get at the root, but after we are going to we want to change that that root, and we want to swap the what is inside that element. Okay, we want to target that one, and to do that we have that one which is hashes target, and the target is called accounts or its income. So with that we should have something that works, that is weird, but that works. It's not working. So it would be trigger. So let me just get it right. So get trigger. Maybe it's not click. Let's go to the note. So in the template, the first part of the template, what is the thing that so we see the wrong thing that I did. So if we don't, this is if we have to use, if we would have used dot, this will target a class, and if we use the hashtag, this will target the ID of that with that element, and this is going to replace the inner part of that element, which is this, with what the server return once we do a request on the root. So we are going normally to see the whole the cool part I wanted to show. Don't let me No, it's not that it don't let me, but there's something that this is sure that I'm doing something wrong. We have the class, we want to target that one. Let's go into, so I am in the node and I don't, the get is different, target. Okay, so I've added the trigger that might not need it, so now, okay, so sorry for that moment. I use the trigger, but if we don't use it, it will use the default click trigger. So what we did is when we click, target the node with the ID accounts or list income, swap its inner HTML element with what the server returned at the root. So this is why we've seen something like that, where inside this we've put all those things, and this is what we get. And now, as we replaced it, we can do it again. But this is not what we want to do, because what we would like to do, let's do it. So we take that here. What we really want to do is to have something in the server that return the accounts. So we let this like that, but I want to show you if we do something like that. So now we are in the other button, this one, and when we click on this, we want here to swap with something that comes from the server that lists the income. So this one we can do it. So we are going to call it list income. For after, we want to target the same things, and right now this is going to work but by replacing, but by doing the same thing, because when we match that one, we don't find any list income in our server, so it takes the root. So now let's go. I'm in the game, and we can do that one. Let's add a new root. So we call it list incomes, and maybe we are not going to do it as complicated as this one. Did we have the first one? No, we don't have the first one, but we still can do this. Take that one. So up. Now what we want to do is format f the print ln, and what we should have we have to do is the same as before, but for a list incomes. But I just want to show you that what's going on with that HTMX thing. So here we write it. It's better if we give it a name. Maybe the name will be list income handler, and now we can use that one for that new root. So we've added a root that just return an HTML which is foo, and this should be swapped when we click on the tab income events. So let's see if this is working. Ah. What I'm missing? So this is called list income. It seems that I have a hard time to do it today. Ha! And if I add typos, this won't help. So I've written a list income comes instead of list income. So now we have this one, and we see the foo. And what we are doing is really when we click there, we do a request on the server. But you can see, just look at the top. We are not reloaded the page because this is just that part which is swapped out with what we send from the servers. So this is how it works, and you can imagine now the thing that have to be done to get this right. Now we want the account when we click back here to just swap here the account. So what we need to do, and I will do it after when we leave, is to do something like that. So we do another one. We add a root at the end. We see here we will add a root which is slash, and we can call it accounts that just send that part. And this is possible if we go to the index here, but by naming this chunk. And if we name that chunk, we can just define the template for that part. And this is rendered as the first go on the root. And this is also can be used in the other things. So if we see the note, and we go and we see HTTP template. So far we use template execute, but if we name a template, we can use execute template, and so we can do something fancy with that part. So I will stop. I take your question. I really hope this was an interesting session, and yes, this is I love commando. I love rule. I love what can be done that way. lnsocket is really great. And what can I say? While you are looking for your question, maybe don't forget to come and the bi-weekly live open meeting by CLN each Monday. So the next one is the next Monday, and this is super cool. If this is super cool for many reasons. If you are building something on CLN or related, comes and show and present what you do, or another things that also you can just be listening. There are many information, and you can go and ask questions if you have any doubt. No question? Ha, I see the name, gotcha. I didn't have you before. Maybe question? Yep, let's stop the stream. Drew. See you in the next live or next episode in LNROOM.live.